and today we're going to be looking at how to use the wheeled tile nippers. These are my favourite tool for cutting glass tiles. They allow you to cut with minimal crushing and splintering. This tool is good for cutting glass up to 3/8 of an inch thick. It's also good for nipping up small pieces of stained glass, for cutting vitreous glass tiles, ceramic, porcelain, china, glass gems, and also smalty. The wheel-tied nipper is made from cast steel and it has replaceable carbide steel cutting blades. The blades should last for years, however they will eventually become blunt, so the blade should be moved around to allow you to cut on another part of the blade. One tip is to open up here with an Allen key. Mark the blade where it has become blunt with a black marker pen. Turn your blade clockwise slightly and then fasten the Allen key. This way you will know which part of the blade has become blunt. You can continue turning around your blade until all of the blade is used and then you replace it with a new one. The blades can become loose, so before you start work you should always check to make sure they don't move. If you need to, you can tighten them up with your Allen key to ensure your nipper is ready to start cutting well. Some wheel-tied nippers come with a guide here. My advice is to take this guide out. It stops you putting the glass further down between the wheel-tiled nippers. The blades should be less than 3 millimeters when they are closed. The majority of glass is 3 millimeters. Also, you will notice that when the wheel-tiled nippers come, they have this to keep them closed. This also protects the spring in the wheel-tiled nippers, so you can keep this to store them closed. However, when you want to use them, remove this. Another tip is to place a hairband over the end of your handles here to keep them closer, so that when you come to cutting, you're not stretching your hand too much and you are ready for keeping the tile nippers closed. If you're happy to do that, you don't need to place the hairband here. Before you start, you need to make sure you've got your safety glasses ready with the side shield, which is going to protect your eyes. And also, I'm going to show you how this water bottle can be very useful to keep your tiles safe in here so it's not going to spread out into the surrounding area. Some people also like to cut their tiles straight onto the table surface or place a towel down so it can catch those tiny slivers of glass. Other people like to hold their hand over the tile as they cut or under the tile as they cut and cup the nippers so that the tile pieces will go into their hand. Whichever method you choose, you should always be aware that the tile edges are sharp once you've cut them and that cutting the tiles can produce sharp tiny slivers. Therefore, never sweep away your work surface with your bare hand. Always clean up with a vacuum cleaner or brush to tidy up. So, if you are right-handed, you should hold the tile in your right hand, like you would do a pair of scissors, making sure that the blades face towards your left hand where you have the tile. If you're left-handed, the opposite applies. Then, with the water bottle ready, you should hold the tile nippers at the base of the handle. This way you have easy leverage and it will cut the tiles easier without maximum effort. You will notice as I close the tile nippers, the blades are come together. If I open them, the blades separate. Starting with the blades apart, you should place your tile between the blades where you would like to make the cut. We're going to make a selection of different cuts. You will notice there are two sides to the tile, one with ridges, bumps, and the other one flat. The flat side is the side that you're going to have showing at the top of your mosaic when it's finished. So the bumpy side is the side that you're going to glue and place down onto your substrate, whichever surface you're using. You can cut the tiles either side, facing upwards. However, if you hold the tile upside down, you will see the ridge side, and this will allow you to check the direction of the ridges to make sure that they don't interfere with your cutting. It's easier to cut across the ridges, like so, or to cut in the gap between the ridges. We're going to start by taking this square mosaic tile and cut rectangles. First, I'm going to show you. You make sure that you find the position that you want. The tile goes between the nippers, is at a 90-degree angle, and then place it between the glass between the tile nipper inside your water bottle and squeeze the handles to cut your tile into a rectangular shape. Take them out and you can have a look. So they're not perfect rectangles, but you can see that it's made a clean cut for you. You can see both sides. Once you've got your two rectangles, you can decide if you would like to cut them again, and in this way you can make a square. Again, hold the glass in your left hand and squeeze the tile nippers into your right hand. Again. And this way we've made a square. So this is how you can make rectangles and squares using your tile nippers. You can also make triangles by cutting diagonally from one point to the other point. Again, holding the tile in your left hand, squeeze the tile nippers and you have made a triangle. Again, if you want smaller pieces, you can cut again to make a smaller triangle. You can also make circles by nibbling around the corners and keep turning your tile until you've reached a circle shape that you're happy with. Remember all the time to think about safety. If any of the pieces jump out of the water bottle, you can pop them back in, keeping your safety glasses on to protect your eyes at all times. Keep turning the tile, and gradually you will see the circle shape is starting to take place. Continue nibbling around the edge as you turn, and continue until you're satisfied with the circle shape. You can also experiment with different shapes by making 3 cuts in any direction. 1, 2, 3. This way of cutting the mosaic tiles is really good when you're filling up a large background or when you're doing an abstract, irregular mosaic. Experiment with different shapes that could fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. When you become more confident, you might want to make specific shapes. For example, a petal for a flower. Start by cutting across the ridges, make a rectangle. Then you would like to cut diagonally the two top parts to the centre. And the same on the bottom. And here we've made a petal shape. You might also want to make a leaf shape. Here I'm using a blue tile, but obviously you can use a green tile. Again, cut across the ridges, cut your tile in half to get the rectangle. And this time you want to cut from the corner diagonally to about a top third. Cut this from the top, turn your tile around and repeat the process. And here you've made a leaf shape. So let's have a look at all the different shapes that we've now made using our wheeled tile nippers. So we started with the 2 centimetre square glass mosaic tile. By cutting it in half, we have the rectangle. We cut it in half again to create small squares. When we cut it diagonally, corner to corner, we made the triangle, and cutting that in half again to make a smaller triangle. When you nibble around the outside, you can make a circle, and then making random cuts, you can make different shapes of glass. This is really helpful for when you're trying to fit pieces together to make a mosaic background. And here's just 2 examples of specific shapes you can make, the petal and the leaf. So have fun using your wheel tile nippers to create lots of different shapes, using different cutting techniques that I've shown you and others which you might find as you experiment. These wheel tile nippers are available from my website. I'm going to put all the details in the caption for you so you'll be able to order these. And also on my website, I have a variety of kits available that you can use wheel tile nippers for. They contain different designs and different glass tiles and also helpful instructions and tips for grouting. Please have a look, and you can always decide to make your own design using the tiles or adapt my designs as you get more confident and use the colours in different ways. Please, if you are able to, you can subscribe to my channel and stay alert and follow me for more tips about mosaic making.